I was on the county board, and the road projects came in more, and everything came in more, and I used to think at some point you just gotta say no. You bid it at this, and that's what you're gonna build it at, and we're not gonna do all these change orders. And see what happens if they withdraw their bid or what, but sometimes you wonder about.
Absolutely, yeah, play hardball, yeah.
You know, they did come in a bit higher than expected, of course, and then they sent them back out with certain pieces that could be sort of lopped off the top, and in the end, I think they ended up with a pretty good number. It was a little bit higher, I think, than initially expected.
Well, the Library Foundation
there were,
raised some money.
Yes.
There were quite a few things that were changed. I know that, we just went over the site plan, and what I thought was interesting is the site plan was presented to us, prior to the awarding of that bid. So obviously the new bid had come back with some of the overages. So a lot of changes were made, like removing this particular office, and and certain things to actually reduce costs. So I mean, the council had done a pretty good job along with the library board and such, and determining exactly where what the essentials were and what were not. So I think it was actually just really responsible all around with how this was taken care of.
I think the Library Foundation has committed quite a bit of work and money and time to fundraising and so
Right.
on to get that project going off the ground and then furnished in the end. I think that's going to be, it's quite a challenge, but I think it's something that can be done.
And I think well worth it. I think that it's a community treasure, and just look at the usage numbers out of that library. It's incredible for meeting spaces and community activities, and it's
We
amazing.
were almost gonna have Cat 7 studios there,
That would've
but it
been
was a
cool.
little expensive. It would beat the basement in the police department, but.
What are you talking about?
What-
Or
this
they
is
could have
weird.
actually left it alone and we wouldn't have had any of those issues.
That would have probably been the best thing.
Carpet brings out your
That was,
eyes.
oh yeah, that was another, another one of those administrator deals where the council didn't have a clue, and when I started calling in January, they still didn't have a clue, so we are where we are now, and we try to make the best that we can. But one of the things I noticed at the last council meeting that I attended was that a neighbor to one of these building projects stood up and said they promised me that they were gonna put this fence in, and they haven't put this fence in. And she was bothered by it, and the council members looked at her and said, well, we're really sorry about that. And I'm like,
I didn't say that, Patty. I didn't say we're really sorry about that.
well, that was the answer she got from, I think, the mayor or one of the others, or the administrator. There was an answer, but the answer was not, we will help you get this fixed.
I think
And
at
we
the
will
same
make the
meeting, Patty.
HRA do what they said that they were gonna do with that fence.
And at that same meeting, didn't the developer that was at the meeting say, yeah, we're still working on that, we're gonna do the best we can to get that fence up? I think that there's more to the story. than
I'm not sure
Well,
I
laid
heard
out
that
here now.
part of it.
I was at that meeting as well, and you're right, they did say that they were gonna do the best they could, but they were gonna do the best they could initially, and we see how that turned
Right,
out.
yeah.
It's easy to get up in front of people and promise the world if nobody's gonna hold your feet to the fire. I can tell you that I'm gonna pave the streets in gold, and try to get elected, but once I get elected, if you thought I was gonna get the streets paved in gold, you were being silly.
The same with Washington Avenue, and the project on Washington Avenue, where the city engineer should have been working with the county engineer
Yeah,
and
I
have the
completely
answers
agree.
for those people.
I think it was decided the county engineers are no longer allowed to independently handle these types of projects.
Oh, did they decide that?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that's
not just
okay.
that. It's just how the slope of it goes up to the driveway.
That's that whole communication thing though,
Mhm.
so that when a constituent comes up to that mic and says, I'm having a really hard time with this, and everybody goes, well, that's a county project. Well, but you're living in the city.
Well,
and-
and I guess that gets back, and I don't wanna put it on that I think all city employees aren't doing their jobs, because I don't believe that that's the case.
The county might not have been doing their
Well,
job.
I don't even know about this situation, but I'm referring to, I've badmouthed, you heard me just a few minutes ago, talking about the former city administrator. But I think if the council shows a backbone, shows that they are in charge, and puts city employees in place and they feel confident that they will be backed, that these people will anticipate those problems for us, reach out, you know, we want to know what you're going to do about this. And they're the ones who are in a position to figure that out. We, as city councilors, would not be in a position to figure that out. If you give those people the confidence that they have the city council's backing, they will do a better job for you because the council has a backbone.
Sure.
Has
Well,
your phone rang off the hook for over any issues yet?
You know, yes, Patty, it has rung off the hook over several issues. And as small as it may seem, one of the issues happened to be a sign that had some graffiti on it, that had been tagged by, I don't know, some kid that just didn't have enough, you know, sense not to use a spray can on a sign. And I was really glad that when I forwarded that message on to Caleb Peterson, that they got on it, the city staff came, and within 2 days of that phone call and message, that thing was replaced.
That's great.
And small things make a big difference.
Oh, because you're
in these
responsive
places.
to what their questions are, and that is a huge deal.
I think that's really important. So again, I mean, you know, whoever wins this thing in February, I mean, that needs to be continued on into the future. Those little things matter a lot to our neighbors, to our
Well,
constituents.
it's the little things that grow into big things.
Exactly.
Graffiti, then broken windows, and then we have.
Right,
So-
yeah, crime and so on. And there's certainly room to grow there. I mean, this is not, I mean, that's a small issue, right? Like you talk about the infrastructure issues. I mean, those things need to be planned out, laid out. The CIP needs to be revisited regularly to figure out how are we going to project this into the future. I mean, we do that with all sorts of other things, but one of the concerns that just has bubbled up, of course, is that barn. The ice the plant is not going to function the way that it is right now forever. That's something that we can work on, that we can project, figure out what it costs, figure out what the replacement cost is going to be, and bank the money.
Isn't that a
should
newly
happen.
acquired city property?
Yeah, just in the last year, right.
Well, and I think that those are the kinds of things, just like I talked about. If you give the city employees the backing that they feel that they need to go back on, then they will anticipate those problems for you.
And to be clear, I think they are in most respects.
When they have an opportunity. But if you have, there's that gray area between the city administrator and the council that has been there, and so nobody knows for sure who they're answering to and what they're going to do. Nobody's going to go out on a limb and do above and beyond because they never know when they're going to get cut off at the knees.
So, the election is,
November 5th.
which is
Coming up
what?
quick.
That is the
Couple-
that is the primary. And
couple weeks
after it's
away.
down to 2 candidates, it'll be February 11th.
Oh, so there's a primary.
There's
There's
a
a
primary,
primary.
so
Hey,
it
Michelle,
will go
you're-
from the
yeah.
3 of them
Yeah.
to 2 of them.
I know
So
all
we'll
about
get to
primaries
have
and
2
special
of you
elections.
back.
This,
Yes, we do.
that's another thing that I think the city administrator should have anticipated, is that this should have been anticipated so that there didn't have to be a primary election.
Well-
No, this,
They've already changed the rule now, so it won't be going forward.
Yeah, this
But-
will be the last one.
Right, but it never occurred to them to do it until it happened.
So I
So-
don't understand. So a primary, there's 3 of you going through, the top 2 vote getters go on. Without a primary, would all 3 of you go on to the?
No, it'd be
general
ranked choice
It is-
voting.
election? I see. Okay.
So,
If only 2 of us would have applied, it would have been just an election.
Gotcha.
But
Right.
because there was 3, there has to be a primary.
so I want to thank all of you for coming
Oh, it's
and
been fun.
being our
Thank you.
first
Thank you, yes.
male guests on Dragon Ladies.
Honorary Dragon.
Yes, and we
Honorary
got
I'm not
dragon.
even sure that I'm gonna accept that title, but I appreciate being here.
and we're thankful to have you. November 3rd,
Fifth.
November
5th,
5th.
November 5. Just remember 5, and only in Ward 3. So
Correct.
Ward 3.
where do they vote in
The
Ward?
old city council, or city building.
101 14th Street.
101 14th Street.
And then you're gonna have to ask voters to go back again in February?
That's correct.
Yes.
So you guys have a lot of work to do between now and then to generate excitement and to get people in your corner and get them to vote.
That's
That's
right
right.
before precinct caucuses.
Ah.
It
So
is, yeah.
Is that on the presidential primary day too?
Presidential primary is March 3rd.
Okay,
No, we wouldn't want to make anything too soon.
yeah.
No. I thank you all for coming. Good luck.
Yes, absolutely.
We wish you all good luck,
Thanks.
and hopefully it will go smoothly.
Well, there's no question it's gonna go smoothly. It's who it's gonna go smoothly for.
That's true.
And we've got 3 minutes left, so how can people get a hold of you if they want to ask you questions? If you could just answer quickly, look into the camera and...
I'm Chris Swanson, and you can reach me at my telephone number, 218-390-2010, or of course I have a city email which you can see on the city website.
Uriah Wilkinson, 218-393-4931, or you can just Google Uriah Wilkinson. I make all my information very available online.
Okay.
And same thing, my name's Ray Scow, my phone number's 218-590-8366, and on Facebook, it's Ray for Cloquet.
And I bet every one of us will take questions or comments at the grocery store, at L&M, or at the gas
That's
station.
true.
or whatever
That would
it
mean
is.
I'd have to venture out of my house,
Yeah.
though, and that's
Yes.
always necessarily touch and go.
And that retail politics is the most enjoyable part of campaigning, isn't it?
I think so.
At least this weekend, you'll have a decent weekend to door knock.
Yeah,
That's right.
It will be. It will be. So Patty, you want to come out and help them? No.
You know, the only thing I can do door knocking is drive down the street and hang on to your literature and hand it to you
That's
as you
right.
go.
There you go.
That was the
I'll
role I
take it.
played in
I'll
my,
take
it.
that's the role I played in my sister's.
Before you guys got here, she already said if there would have been a woman, all of us would have been on.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Next
So
election.
that's why when we go to the Dragon Ladies, you gotta keep that in mind there.
Good to know.
We're a growing group.
Yeah. And hopefully we can get the two top vote getters back before that general election.
Will be nice.
There'll be plenty of time.
Yeah.
Well, we hope that we'll have 2 years back. Have fun door knocking, and we'll see you next week.
There.
I wasn't gonna stretch it out any longer than that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
You guys were just
I
cool
don't
as could
know-
be.
I don't know if I got
I
this
think you
recorded,
guys had
since we
great
recorded or not.
interchange.
Shove to the donuts then.
Yeah, thanks for being respectful.
Oh, it did.
So